and play. We're in my 51 plate Renault Clio. A little 1 litre thing with just enough room in the back for him to find his way into me. We're looking for an escape. Down worn country lanes, his left arm brown from hanging out the window, and somewhere between my legs is an ache, a heat. We escape into each other's bodies, in National Trust car parks and lay-bys at the side of the road where our hands write clumsy poetry on the steamed up windows. He leaves muddy scuffs on the dash where he rests his feet and where he uses his walking boot to push open the passenger door. We're in my 51 plate Renault Clio, and there's an empty bottle of cider on the floor. It rolls as I speed down the B480. Our hometown is nestled in amongst the hills, and it grows smaller, until it is nothing more than an ink smudge on the blanket of fields. Up on the hill is the white mark, and in my dusty rearview mirror it's girl-shaped, pale, exposed to the night. Is this the end, do you think? He asks. I say nothing, just press a little harder on the pedal. And the sun turns a deep burnt orange over the horizon, turns the same colour as the end of the cigarette hanging from his lips. I take it between forefinger and thumb, watch the smoke curl out of his mouth, take a drag and throw it out the window. In my mind, the tiny glowing end sets fire to the whole damn place. Flames climb up the bench I used to wait for him at, engulf the graffiti written there. They burn the tyres of the parents' cars waiting at school, and in the playground, the swings, they melt too, the plastic dripping like spittle into a puddle in the dirt below, and the chains sway gently in the wind. Even the school is consumed. The desks and their old chewing gum like abstract art, the canteen with its smell of BO and wasted potential, cheap tomato pasta, Lynx body spray, all of it. Now ash being picked up by the wind. And I can feel the heat against my back when I answer him. The end? I hope so.
The date is October 1st. The weather, grey sky, sunny spells, that bitter kiss autumn always greets you with. Corduroy is writing poetry on the tyre swing in the park. He's looking a little worse for wear. Dungarees patched at the knees and cuffed at the ankles, and turtleneck pulled up to comfort wind-bitten cheeks. He looks like he might need a friend. Corduroy can't help but stutter his sentences. He'll count the stitches on your shirt to avoid making eye contact, not to be rude, it just makes him feel safe in your company. He is not as tough as denim, nor is he as delicate as silk or as sought after as cashmere. He is simply corduroy. Simply soft and gentle, but never one to stand out in a crowd. He is simply awkward. That windswept hair kind of awkward. That freckles dusting across blushing cheeks kind of awkward. That gentle, lovable, awkward, which leaves him wishing he could disappear after exhausting conversations. He says he is more mushroom than man, and that autumn is his favourite season because his favourite colours are yellow and brown. He enjoys watching amber leaves glide down from treetops and long walks along the lakeside looking for frogs. He may not thrive in social situations, and he may tense up at certain sudden sounds, but you will never find a fiercer friend. The fuzzy stripes of fabric make for the warmest of hugs, and he will take you for talks for hours once he trusts you a little. Corduroy hearts are always the strongest, vulnerable but loyal and oh so caring. The date is May 1st. You can see him sat alone, corduroy dungarees, writing poetry on a tire swing in the park. The grey sky has started to cry a little, but the tears are somewhat calming as he chews on the end of his pen. He looks like he might need a friend. Too awkward to ask, he hopes his aura is magnetic. Fashion does not matter to a corduroy boy looking for a shirt to match. Thank you. Hi, my name is Moss, he, they. I am the president of Bath Spa University's Spoken Word and Performance Poetry Society, and I'm super happy to be here. This next poem is about my journey as a transgender person, and it's called Dear Dandelion. Hope you enjoy. Dear Dandelion, I hope I'm not bothering you. It's just that I'm struggling to reach out to people right now, and do you seem like the listening type? You see, I've been reflecting on my life for a while now, and I think I may be a dandelion too. Let me take you back to springtime, when I was 7 years old, having conversations with the daisies and dandelions on the school field. They tell me that the kids are turning them into flower crowns to make them look pretty, aged 7. Beauty lies with wildflower royalty, girls and boys ripping plants up at the roots to rule over those that refuse to follow. Pretty. Because beauty standards start young, thank you to the pageant mums and military fathers who taught their children that pretty is synchronous with stereotypes of body images that don't even develop this young. What is gender to a 7-year-old? What is stereotype when boys play with bugs and girls do too? A girl throws grass in my shoulder-length hair and tells me to grow it longer. That is, of course, the acceptable image for a human being labelled girl. She rips my dandelion friends from the ground to add to her crown. Dear dandelion, it is springtime when my mum falls in love with her garden again, and wages war against the daisies and dandelions resting in the flower beds. It is our sworn duty to keep the weeds away, because at the end of the day that is what they are, weeds. Do not let their beauty fool you. There is no innocence in those pollinated smiles, she said. Weeds have no place in a garden, she said. They must be extracted from the roots so that they can never grow back. I've always had respect for the daisies and the dandelions, these so-called menaces, deviantly beautiful amongst the grass-blade soldiers and daffodil princesses in my mother's garden. I can't help but relate to the weeds that try to bloom in spring only to be torn up by the roots, the weeds that made me feel so at home in a world I was yet to grow into. Weeds have no place in a garden, she says. They must be extracted from the roots so that they can never grow back. But if there's one thing I know about weeds, is that they will always grow back, and I don't know about you. I don't know about the 7-year-olds making flower crowns either, but dear dandelion, I think that weeds like you and I are pretty damn special. Thank you. Okay, so I've got one more poem to share with you. This one's a little darker. Trigger warning for quite heavy gender dysphoria and graphic imagery. If you do need to take a step back, definitely do. That's totally fine. It's been so fun to perform for you today. I can't wait to, see you all in person and do more events like this in the future. But yeah, thank you. This is Closet Monster. As a kid, we're told about the monster in the closet. Told about the monster that lives amongst our clothes, and I can't help but wonder if she's comfortable. comfortable as I cannot recall a time when my skin was not being rubbed raw by sandpaper shirts. How could she be comfortable if every item of clothing leaves me so damn sore? I find relief in the ocean. The ocean of dissociation lapping at my welted skin while I float atop its surface. Starfish, drifting. I feel the waves carrying me on their shoulders. I have no choice but to let them because I have no clue how to swim. In the distance, a tidal wave is forming. I know it's going to swallow me, but what choice do I have? I am made of clay. I am moulded and moulded into something some abstract artist would call a masterpiece, but I would call a mess. The kiln is licking at my skin, but everything just feels wrong and I don't understand, so break me. Break me into tiny porcelain pieces and put me back together until your fingers bleed. Maybe I'm okay. Sure, I feel like I'm falling down a rabbit hole, but maybe this is normal. There's nothing more relatable than the madness depicted in children's films. Madness masked in bright colours and lovable characters and the occasional musical number. I will feel normal if I wear the colour yellow and sing to myself in the shower. Everyone is drawing self-portraits and I'm here drawing cartoons because I prefer the looks on their faces. I am sorry. I know this is something you may not want to hear. Who am I to shower you with acid rain when you're already burning? Feel free to take shelter, but of course the problem with acid is that it'll melt through your umbrella, so if you want protection, you should probably stay inside. Sure, we may live together, but I'll build myself a cave of rock to trap myself away if you can't take my pain. I am sorry for putting you through this. Every time I speak, I feel my throat get tighter, but it's my fist clenched around it and I can't let go. I can't let go. I can let go, but I don't want to. I am terrified of what would leave my mouth if I did. My head is filled with soda. Each and every thought disrupted with fizzing, pop, pop, popping in my ears until eventually I cannot hear a goddamn thing, so go ahead and shake me. Shake my Coca-Cola brain until my scalp tears away. I don't know what I am. So I moved in with the monster in my closet. It's dark in here and I can't move my limbs, but at least I'm safe from prying eyes and questions about things I'm scared to answer. I can feel the monster gnawing at my skin, so I let it. It's the first thing I've felt in a while now, and maybe it's company in this lonely.
Hello, my name is Holly Mobley and I'm a poet hailing from Bath. I go by the pronouns she, her, and I've been performing in Bath for about 3 years now. I'm currently studying an MA degree in poetry, and I hope you enjoy my set. It's lovely to be here and I cannot wait to celebrate Pride with all of you in person. It's going to be fab. Great, so this first poem is called The Grief Bruise. How hollow this living, when I forget my scrawl, when grief is left to bruise. My home is a twig house built from sombre pines. How crooked my walls are. Didn't you know? The wretched girls don't slip away quietly. They scour the dark for company, wielding each long shtick of shabby misdemeanour. Thank you. So this next poem is called Sexy Feet, or Uma Thurman's Potential Shoes, and I wanted to preface this one with a quick trigger warning for assault, and also I wanted to kind of go into detail about the situation between Uma Thurman, Tarantino and Weinstein in case people weren't aware. So yeah, basically this poem is about Uma Thurman and Tarantino's kind of close relationship, and the situation that happened with her and Weinstein. He basically forced himself on her, and she tried to have a conversation with Tarantino about it on set one day, and he basically brushed her off because it was convenient at the time, because he was working with Weinstein on films, and that was basically the reason that he didn't consider her report of assault, which is what it was. And it's pretty awful. So I was, really angry when I heard about that, and I wanted to write a poem in response, with basically Tarantino's kind of foot fetish as a lens going into that subject. So this poem is called Sexy Feet, or Uma Thurman's Potential Shoes. She was wearing brogues, so he would take her seriously. No. She was wearing yellow Asics to match his cinematic appeal, or she was wearing sandals because he only ever liked women for their feet. Maybe she was wearing leather pumps on set like it mattered. Pretty sure she was wearing thigh highs when she told him, cowboy style. No, now I know she let Tarantino drink champagne from her Louis Vuittons. The camera was rolling. She was barefoot with her ankles to the gravel when Tarantino denied it all. His gaze was fixed on her toes when she tried to make them move. Thank you. So, this next poem is called Sting Season. Sting of the thorn, sting of a stubbed toe, sting of missed opportunities, sting of the uninvited inviting, sting of character development, sting of no milk in the fridge, sting of a cold tea bag, sting of week old caffeine on porcelain mugs, a dead plant under your care, sting of overloving, sting of constant wanting, sting of the skin between your fingers touching someone else's, sting of random hangnails, sting of bad impressions, of a revealing hypnotism, of forgetting to ask the therapist about her day, sting of a lost hour, sting of time jumping, sting of an unavoidable alien abduction, sting of poor memory, sting of a tinfoil cut, sting of 5 wasps around a dropped ice cream, sting of antihistamine, sting of unexpected sunburn, sting of peeling away, sting of rock bottom with her new improved trapdoor, sting of caves, the Mariana Trench, sting of the colour blue having emotional resonance, sting of cliché, of the undiscovered, sting of the bottom, sting of the bottle, sting of the thing when the thing's incurable, sting of disease, sting of worry when it comes true, sting of nettles, sting of foraging for new parts, sting of the discovered, sting of finding out, sting of slipping away, sting of being lost, of no milk in the fridge for days, of missing persons posters, sting of not remembering in the right way. Thank you. So, this next poem is called Every Time a Dog Sniffs Me. Every time a dog sniffs me, I think I'm pregnant. Then, for a hot second, I am. I let myself believe it for another scolding minute. In comes the shame through the hole in the bulldog's mouth, and it smells like a cavern of unbrushed teeth. I'm staring at the cave of it, ducking from the swooping bats of this. I've always been so sure of myself, but now I'm on the precipice of something new entirely. The dog is dripping over me. His mouth dwarfs his graveyard of tic-tac teeth. He's losing warm strings all over my jeans. Now every time I think my body might be baking, I go back to reciting Joe March's speech in Little Women. I'm so sick of people saying that love is all a woman is fit for. Isn't living so much more for us now? See our hand-dug canyon of possibility. Every time I remember that, I want to parasail off my broody peaks. Watch me run from love like I'm the soft rabbit it's hunting. Here is the spring dog snotting his nose into my hands. Maybe the two of us have allergies. Him to loneliness and me to settling. Me to arms closing around the width of me. But look at this gingham blanket. Look at this woven basket. This full bunch of grapes to feed a family. Warm cow pat in the farmer's field where I grew up and spread my legs for every dreams. I read that dogs know when you're pregnant. Maybe this one's trying to warn me. If dogs have supernatural scent, my scent says kitsch and hungry. Thank you. So this next poem is called Little Twist. Wake up in a size too small for my body. Doggy paddle to the edge of myself. Morning Lido. Take my first wet breath. 10 minutes into my Weetabix before I swap the fork for a spoon. Wait for Finn to come home from work like her lesbian housewife. We love our white trainers brown on mud paths by the River Avon. Talk about the twisted roots, how they froze in the shape of a seat or a festival toilet. Agree this world smelt a lot better before we started excreting into it. Pat the roots, think, my ass will like it here. Think, if I have one thing this week, let it be a picnic. Long for a wound in the sky, the egg crack of sun. Wish for days like a Paolo Nutini song on the vinyl. String along the gentle silences. Make a vulgar tapestry of, no way. Did you see that? Really? So this one time, walk past a shop where a woman sells shark's teeth for a living and consider the karma of a small tin dog. Think that, for a writer, you barely talk at all. Imagine my thoughts are bashing into exit holes, the wrong shape for their sides. Remember things by their outlines only. Befriend the line of abandoned houses by the train tracks. Find a wind chime, wild garlic, and a mannequin torso. Confuse the torso for a trunk. I see most people as trees. Beautiful, a little twisted, taller than me. Thank you. Great, so I'm going to leave you with this last poem. Where is it? Here it is. And yeah, I wanted to leave you with a little gay poem that I wrote for my friend who I had a crush on at the time. And yeah, it's called Ignoring the Sell-by Dates in an Act of Self-Loathing, and I hope you enjoy it. I am a girl of bad habits. I'm a bite my nails brunette, a pull open the scab slut, a clothes dumping on the floor femme. I'm a Jenga stack of vices I can't kick, but living with you, it never grew old. You were never sentimental, but someone has to be. 1 year ago, I pushed my back into your bed in the attic while you showed me a sketch nude. And we laugh because I recognised the subject, because I never thought of him that way. Just like I never thought of you the same until I downed an old bottle of Chablis, and it was just the two of us. God, the wine was well past its sell-by date. I've never been so sick, but 2 years of getting to know your bad habits and I couldn't want you anymore. We always had so much to say to each other and too little air for saying it in. Is that not what love is? Never enough of anything. I remember your temper and the way you'd accidentally spit when you got excited. I remember your figure on the stairs and your white blouse. Pirate of my dreams, your buck teeth and your temper. I remember staying up with you, your legs on my legs. It should have meant nothing, but the living room spun away until it was just a sofa with us on it. Your clammy hands, just a few feet away, after complaining I was late again, after saying you found hair dye on the sink again, after peeling off my eyelashes you still stayed right there on that sofa, taking in air, while I bit my nails and waited for some to leave your mouth. Thank you. Oh, well, that is the 10-minute mark for me, so I just want to say thank you all for listening, and I hope you have a beautiful Pride. I am so excited to watch everyone. Goodbye!